Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today we will be looking at how a ChatGPT personality update to GPT 5.3 instant triggered immediate user backlash, how paid AI subscribers are actively reconsidering which service deserves their money, and a surge of complaints about repetition and latency hitting the ChatGPT iOS app. So on Monday, March 17th, users started noticing something was off with ChatGPT. Specifically, people using the GPT 5.3 instant model reported a pretty noticeable shift in how the model was behaving. The complaints came in fast. Users said the model was repeating itself more than usual, self-censoring responses in ways it had not before, and taking longer to generate answers. One user on Reddit put it bluntly, saying, quote, "It kept repeating itself. It kept censoring itself. Fully." Another user in the same thread pointed to the cause, writing, quote, "Are you using 5.3 instant? There was a personality update to it today." So what seems to have happened is OpenAI pushed out what is often called a personality update, which typically means changes to the system prompt or the alignment layer sitting on top of the model, rather than a swap of the underlying model weights themselves. Think of it like the model's instructions for how to talk to you got rewritten, but the brain underneath stayed the same. Even though no fundamental capability changed, the way users experienced the model shifted enough to cause real frustration. The complaints were mostly about conversational tone and responsiveness, not about the model suddenly getting facts wrong or losing knowledge. And a lot of the early reports came from people using the iOS app, which is worth noting because it hints at the possibility of a staggered rollout, where different platforms or regions may have received the update at different times. OpenAI has been building out separate tiers for its models, splitting things into reasoning, production, and instant categories, and the instant tier appears to be where these faster alignment changes land first. That means the models people interact with most casually are also the ones most likely to feel different from one day to the next. That frustration did not stay contained to complaints about model behavior. On the same day, March 17th, a separate discussion popped up on Reddit, with someone asking, quote, "Which AI are you paying for right now?" The thread turned into a real-time comparison of ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, and Perplexity, with users weighing value per month, reliability, how well each handles coding versus writing, and whether stacking multiple subscriptions even makes sense anymore. What stood out is the timing. This was not some abstract debate about which AI is best in a vacuum. It was happening within hours of the GPT 5.3 instant complaints, and several users explicitly connected their frustration with ChatGPT's recent behavior to their willingness to look elsewhere. People were talking about Claude and Gemini as potential alternatives, citing perceived stability and fewer unexpected behavior swings. For anyone building on or paying for these platforms, that is a signal worth paying attention to. When a personality tweak or alignment adjustment causes paying customers to immediately start shopping around, it shows just how thin the margin of trust can be. Users are not just evaluating raw capability anymore, they care about consistency. They want the tool they are paying for to behave the same way today as it did yesterday. And when it does not, the conversation shifts from "how do I use this better" to "should I be using something else entirely?" The fact that this subscription reassessment happened so quickly after the model update shows that power users are highly tuned into even subtle changes and are more than willing to vote with their wallets. Zooming in a bit more on the technical side of the complaints, the reports of degraded performance between March 16th and 17th had a specific pattern worth breaking down. Users described answers that took noticeably longer to generate, responses that looped back on themselves or gave circular answers, and an overall feeling that the model was less sharp than it had been. One user noted something interesting, saying, quote, "I usually use it on Mac, but I have only used the iOS app today." That detail matters, because it suggests the experience may not have been uniform across all of OpenAI's platforms. If the personality update rolled out to the iOS app on a different schedule than the desktop app, or if there are app-specific moderation layers that behave differently, then users on different devices could literally be talking to slightly different versions of the same model without realizing it. Another user summed up the emotional side of it, saying, quote, "I have never felt this frustrated before. The complaints were focused on tone and coherence, not on the model getting things factually wrong. That distinction is important because it tells us the issue is really about the interaction experience, rather than the underlying intelligence of the model. When you change how a model communicates even slightly, people notice. And when those changes make the model feel slower, more repetitive, or overly cautious, it erodes the feeling of having a useful conversational partner. The good news in all of this is that these are tuning issues, not fundamental capability regressions. They are the kinds of things that can be adjusted and refined, and the fact that users can detect and articulate these differences so precisely actually speaks to how sophisticated the relationship between people and these tools has become. People know what good looks like, and they expect it every time they open the app.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.